time doesn't heal all wounds. Sometimes it just gives you more to lose. For over 200 years, their love has defied every rule, crossed every boundary, survived every battle. But now the clock is finally running out. Jamie and Claire Fraser have fought through wars, walked between centuries, and sacrificed everything to stay together. But what happens when time itself demands the ultimate price? What happens when the journey that brought them together is the same one that must tear them apart? This is it. The final chapter, the last stand. And nothing will ever be the same. The screen fades from black. We hear only the sound of wind, distant and hollow, like a whisper from another time. Then Claire's voice cuts through the silence, weathered but unbroken. "I've lived 2 lifetimes," she says, her words heavy with memory. "I've seen empires rise and fall. I've watched the people I love grow old while I remain trapped between worlds. But through it all, there was one constant. One truth that never changed." The music begins to swell, soft strings that feel like heartbreak and hope tangled together. We see flashes now, brief glimpses. Claire's hands, older, worn, trembling slightly as they touch a familiar tartan cloth. The fabric is faded, the colors dulled by time and tears. Cut to Jamie, standing on a cliff overlooking the Scottish Highlands, his red hair now streaked with silver, his posture still proud but carrying the weight of countless battles. His eyes scan the horizon as if searching for something lost, or someone. The camera pulls back slowly, revealing the vastness of the landscape, the isolation, the beauty that has always been both sanctuary and prison. "Love," Claire's voice continues, answering her own unspoken question. "Love was the constant. But love alone cannot stop what's coming." The screen flashes white, then dark again. We hear the clash of swords, the crack of musket fire screams. That could belong to any era, any war. History is a wheel, always turning, always hungry. And the Frasers have been caught in its spokes for far too long. Cut to Brianna, standing in what looks like the 20th century. She's holding a letter, yellowed with age, her hands shaking as she reads words written in her mother's handwriting. Tears stream down her face. "No," she whispers. "Not like this. There has to be another way." Roger appears behind her, placing a hand on her shoulder, but his expression is grim. They both know the truth. Some debts can only be paid in blood. Some goodbyes are forever. Back to the 18th century. Jamie stands in the middle of what looks like a war council, surrounded by men in Continental Army uniforms. Maps are spread across a wooden table, marked with positions, strategies, the careful planning of desperate men. The British are closing. And one officer says, his voice tight with fear, "We're outnumbered 3-1. If we make our stand here, most of us won't survive." Jamie's jaw tightens. He's heard these odds before. He's beaten them before. But this time feels different. This time, the stakes aren't just about winning a battle. It's about protecting a future he'll never get to see. "Then we make sure. Our sacrifice means something," Jamie replies, his Scottish accent thick with determination. He looks directly at the camera now, and for a moment, it's as if he can see through time itself. "See us watching, see the end approaching. We fight not for glory, not for ourselves, but for the ones who come after, for the world they deserve to inherit." The music grows louder, more urgent. Quick cuts now. Rapid-fire images that assault the senses. Claire running through a darkened forest, her dress torn, branches clawing at her face. A mansion burning in the night, flames reaching toward the sky like grasping fingers. Young Ian, painted for war, his expression fierce and final. Jenny, older now, holding a child close to her chest, whispering prayers in Gaelic. Each image is a memory, a moment, a piece of a story that's about to reach its conclusion. We always knew this day would come. Jamie's voice joins Claire's now. The two of them speaking in harmony, separated by space, but connected by something deeper than proximity. We knew that time would catch up to us eventually. that the choices we made would demand payment. But knowing doesn't make it easier. Knowing doesn't stop the heart from breaking. Asterisk, the scene shifts. Silence falls like a curtain, thick and suffocating. Then we hear it, a single heartbeat, slow, steady, amplified until it fills every corner of the darkness. There's a moment. Claire's voice whispers, almost intimate, as if she's speaking directly into your ear. A moment between breaths where you can feel everything changing, where the past and future collide inside your chest and you realize that every choice you've ever made has led you to this exact point, this exact second. And there's no going back. The heartbeat stops. Complete silence. Then the sound of ocean. Waves crashing against rocks. We see Claire standing alone on a beach at dawn, barefoot in the sand, the hem of her dress soaked with seawater. She's holding something in her hands, clutching it against her chest like a lifeline. As the camera moves closer, we see it's a small wooden box carved with intricate Celtic knots. Her fingers trace the patterns, each curve and line a memory etched in wood. "Jamie made this for me," she says, her voice cracking. "On our first anniversary, he said it was for keeping secrets. It's for hiding away the moments too precious to share with the world." She opens the box slowly. Inside, we glimpse letters. A lock of red hair tied with ribbon, a small silver ring, a pressed flower. That somehow survived decades. Cut to Jamie, miles away, standing in the ruins of what might have been their home. Walls are blackened by fire, the roof collapsed, furniture reduced to charcoal and ash. He kneels in the debris, his hands moving through the destruction until he finds something. A book. Somehow intact, despite everything around it burned. He opens it carefully, and we see Claire's handwriting filling the pages. Medical notes, observations, sketches of herbs and treatments. But in the margins, personal notes. "Jamie smiled today for the first time in weeks, watched him sleep and wondered how I got so lucky. If I lose him, I lose everything." Jamie closes the book, pressing it against his forehead, his shoulders shaking. "I failed her." He breathes out the words torn from somewhere deep inside. "I promised to protect her, to keep her safe, and I failed." The camera circles him slowly, showing the devastation from every angle. This isn't just a burned house. This is the physical manifestation of everything falling apart. This is what happens when time runs out. Flash to Brianna and Roger in their own time period. They're standing in front of a massive standing stone, one of the ancient rocks that serves as a doorway between centuries. The air around it shimmers with energy, that familiar hum that signals the presence of something impossible. "We could go back," Roger says quietly. "We could warn them, change what happens." Brianna shakes her head, tears streaming down her face. "We've tried. Don't you understand? We've tried everything. Every path leads to the same ending. Some things are written in stone, literally in stone, and no amount of love or hope or desperation can rewrite them." The music shifts. Drums now, tribal and ancient, mixed with modern orchestral swells. We see fragments of different timelines, overlapping. Claire in the 18th century, performing surgery by candlelight, her hands covered in blood but steady, always steady. Claire in the 20th century, younger, walking through a hospital in her nurse's uniform, the same determination. In her eyes, two versions of the same woman, separated by centuries but connected by purpose. "I became a healer to save lives." Her voice echoes across both timelines. But what do you do when the life you need to save is your own? When the person bleeding out is the other half of your soul? Jamie appears in both timelines too. Jamie, laughing on a Scottish hillside, sword in hand, the world still full of possibility. Old Jamie, scarred and weathered, standing alone in a cemetery, reading names on headstones of people he couldn't save. "I've killed men," his voice reverberates, "more than I can count. Some deserved it, some didn't. I've carried their faces with me every day since. But the weight of the dead is nothing compared to the weight of knowing I might have to live without her. That's a death I'm not strong enough to survive. Cut to a war room. Continental Army officers arguing, voices raised, fists pounding on tables. Maps show British forces closing in from all sides. We're talking about a massacre. Someone shouts, "If we stay and fight, we're condemning every man here to death." Jamie stands apart from the chaos, staring at a small portrait miniature of Claire that he keeps in his coat pocket. His thumb brushes across her painted face. "Some things are worth dying for," he says, not to the room, but to her image. "Some loves are worth any price. Even this one. The images come faster now." Young Ian saying goodbye to someone we can't quite see, his face a mask of barely controlled grief. Jenny burning letters in a fireplace, each one curling into ash, each one a secret she'll take to her grave. Lord John Grey standing in the rain outside a grave, his expression unreadable but his eyes betraying everything. These aren't just supporting characters anymore. They're people caught in the gravitational pull of Jamie and Claire's story. People whose lives have been fundamentally altered by loving the Frasers. And now they're all going to pay the price for that love. A clock ticks. Not a normal clock. Something older, mechanical, the gears grinding like they're struggling against time itself. The ticking grows louder, more insistent, until it's almost painful to hear. Then it stops. Dead silence. They say, "Time is a river." A new voice speaks. It's Brianna, but her tone is different now. Harder, colder, like she's seen something that broke her. But rivers flow in one direction. Time doesn't. Time is a predator, circling back, hunting the same. Prey over and over until there's nothing left but bones and regret. The screen fractures, literally splits into pieces like shattered glass. Each fragment showing a different moment, a different possibility. In one piece, we see Jamie and Claire dancing at a wedding, young and untouched by tragedy. In another, Claire is screaming, reaching for Jamie as he's dragged away by soldiers. In a third, they're old together, sitting by a fire, hands intertwined. In the fourth, there's just an empty room and a blood-stained floor. All of these moments exist simultaneously. All of them are real. All of them are happening right now. The fragments spin kaleidoscope style, making us dizzy, disoriented. "What if I told you," Brianna continues, her voice coming from everywhere and nowhere, "that there are versions of this story where they survive, versions where they get their happy ending, where they grow old together, die in each other's arms, and time finally leaves them in peace." The fragments slow down, settling on images of happiness, of peace, of victory. But what if I also told you that we don't live in one of those versions? That the timeline we're trapped in is the one where love isn't enough. Cut to complete darkness. Then a match strikes. The tiny flame illuminates Claire's face, but something is wrong. She looks haunted, her eyes reflecting not hope, but resignation. She's standing in what appears to be a cave or underground chamber. Around her, carved into the stone walls, are symbols, ancient, powerful. The same symbols that appear around the standing stones. "I found it," she says, to someone we can't see. "It's the answer we've been looking for. It's the way to break the cycle, to stop the pattern from repeating." Her hand trembles as she holds the match closer to one particular carving. "But Jamie, the price, the cost is something I never imagined." Jamie's shadow falls across the wall before we see him. When he steps into the light, his face is resolved, peaceful even, like a man who's already made an impossible decision. "Tell me," he says simply. Claire shakes her head, tears already forming. "I can't. If I tell you, you'll do it. And I can't lose you. Not like that. Not willingly sending you to what?" Jamie interrupts, gentle but firm. "Death. Monayan. Dan, I've been ready to die for you since the moment we met. The only thing that's kept me alive is the thought of you needing me. But if my death is what saves you, what saves our children, our grandchildren, everyone we've ever fought for, then it's not a sacrifice, it's a gift. The music transforms into something we haven't heard before. Bagpipes, but played in a minor key, mournful and beautiful simultaneously. We see flashes of Scotland, the Highlands in all their brutal glory. Mountains covered in mist. Lochs so still they look like mirrors reflecting sky and cloud. This is Jamie's homeland, the place his soul belongs, but he's been away so long. "I'm tired, Claire," he admits, and for the first time we hear actual exhaustion in his voice. Not physical tiredness, but soul-deep weariness. "I'm tired of fighting, tired of running, tired of watching everyone I love suffer because of choices I made centuries ago. Maybe this is how it ends. Maybe this is the only way it could have ever ended." But Claire isn't accepting it. We see her now in a different scene, moving with purpose through a market in the 18th century. She's buying things, herbs, chemicals, substances that don't belong together unless you're making something dangerous. "There's always another way," she mutters to herself, her medical mind working overtime. "There's always a solution. I just have to find it. I just have to think." Her hands work frantically, mixing compounds, testing combinations, searching for some scientific miracle that can overcome magical fate. Parallel to this, we see Roger in the 20th century doing his own research. Libraries, university archives, old books spread across tables. He's tracing genealogies, following bloodlines, looking for patterns in history. "It's happened before," he says to Brianna, his finger pointing to names in dusty records. "Look, every 3 generations, someone disappears. Someone vanishes without explanation. It's not random. It's a pattern. Your family is paying a debt that started long before Jamie and Claire. They're just the latest payment." Brianna stares at the records, her face draining of color. Then we stop it. We break the pattern. We refuse to pay. Roger touches her shoulder carefully. "And if refusing means everyone pays, if the debt gets called in all at once, Bri, we might not be talking about losing just your parents. We might be talking about erasing your entire bloodline from existence. You, me, our children, everyone." The scene shifts violently. Battlefield, chaos, smoke so thick you can barely see. Jamie is fighting, sword flashing in the dim light, taking down enemy after enemy with practiced precision. But he's not trying to win. Anyone watching closely can see that. He's fighting his way towards something specific. Someone specific. The smoke, we glimpse a British officer, higher ranked, important. Jamie's target, "This ends today." Jamie growls. One way or another, this ends. But before he can reach the officer, Claire appears. She's not supposed to be here. It's the battlefield. No place for a healer, but she's running toward Jamie anyway, screaming his name. Time seems to slow down. We see what she sees. A musket. Raised, aimed not at Jamie, but at her. Jamie sees it too. The choice crystallizes in that eternal second. Save himself and complete his mission, or save her and lose everything they've fought for. There's no hesitation. There never was. Jamie changes direction mid-stride, launching himself at Claire, his body becoming her shield just as the musket fires. The sound of the shot echoes, then silence. Claire's scream is soundless, her mouth open but no noise coming out. Jamie in her arms, blood spreading across his shirt. "No, no, 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 no," she's saying. Or maybe just thinking, her hands already moving, trying to stop the bleeding, trying to fix what cannot be fixed. "You don't get to do this. You don't get to leave me. Jamie Fraser, you listen to me. You stay. You stay." His hand reaches up, touching her face, leaving a streak of red across her cheek. "Mo Critty," he whispers. "My heart, don't you see? This was always how it had to be. From the very beginning, this was written. Not in stone, in us." The light is fading from his eyes, and we see Claire's world ending in real time, collapsing into a single point of unbearable pain. Asterisk, black screen. The sound of a woman breathing, ragged and broken, like someone who's forgotten how to exist. Then light creeps in, cold and blue, like dawn after the longest night in history. Claire sits alone on that same beach from before, but everything has changed. Her hair is loose, whipping in the wind. Her dress is stained with dirt and blood. The wooden box lies open beside her, its contents scattered across the sand. She's holding Jamie's ring, turning it over and over between her fingers. Love stories are supposed to have happy endings, she says, her voice empty, hollow. That's what we tell ourselves. That's the lie that keeps us breathing when everything else says stop. The camera pulls back slowly, revealing she's not entirely alone. Standing in the distance, barely visible in the morning mist, is a figure. Tall, familiar, but impossible. Claire doesn't look up. She knows if she looks, if she acknowledges what she's seeing, it will disappear. "I can feel you," she whispers, "even now, even after everything. I can feel you watching me, waiting for me, calling me home. But I don't know which home anymore, the past, the future, or wherever you are now." Cut to Brianna, standing at the stones again, but this time she's not hesitating. She places both hands on the ancient rock, feeling the hum of power beneath her palms. "I understand now," she says, and her voice carries the weight of terrible knowledge why it had to be them. Why it couldn't be anyone else. Some people are born to change the world. Others are born to hold it together just long enough for the rest of us to survive. My parents weren't heroes because they wanted to be. They were heroes because time itself needed them to be. Flash to Jamie, but not dead, not quite. He's somewhere. Between worlds, walking through a space that looks like Scotland, but isn't quite real. Everything is slightly too bright, too vivid, colors that don't exist in the normal world. He sees people he's lost, his father, his brother, his friends who fell in battle. They don't speak, just nod, acknowledging him as one of their own now. But Jamie keeps walking, searching, because he knows she's here somewhere. She has to be. "Claire!" He shouts, and his voice echoes across impossible distances. "Claire, where are you? We're not finished. We can't be finished. Not yet. Not like this." He's running now, through landscapes that shift and change with each step. Highlands becoming battlefields, becoming hospitals, becoming standing stones. Becoming home. Every place they've ever been together compressed into this endless moment.